Something feels different, and you're not really sure what, but you know something is off. But you also got the weight of the world on your shoulders at the same time, and you just kind of don't have time. You don't have enough mental bandwidth to pay attention to every little micro mannerism. Not when you got a whole family to take care of, your parents to take care of, your siblings. I don't think women appreciate how much pressure men are under in these circumstances, right? They only really care about their own needs, don't they? But how do you really know when it's over? How can you pinpoint the moment where you're like, okay, this is not gonna work out, kind of thing, right? Now, okay, so that's what we're gonna talk about in this video. And this is gonna be more for long-term relationships, not so much kind of you've been dating for a few months and she has like red flags. It's not so much a red flag thing. It's more like the signals that she's putting down, that she's slowly checking out, and you're not picking up what she's putting down, right? Long-term signals. By the way, guys, scroll down, hit that subscribe button. Let's grow the channel together. Come on, boys, we can do this. Let's get to 1,000. Okay. So how do you know when it's actually over, okay? Now, when a woman commits to a man, I'm going, in the Discord, we have a step counter challenge, and today's the first day that we're doing 16,000. So I'm doing a lower incline, but I'm walking way faster. So it's like same heart rate, but it just looks more ridiculous on camera, I guess, right? But whatever. So anyway, how do you know when a woman's actually checking out? So when a woman commits to a man, let's say she really falls in love with a man, you have to imagine that there is this like equity jar or like an equity cup, right? And when she fully commits to a man, the equity cup is kind of full, right? Or you could look at it as like a line across like the lifespan of the relationship as well. And that's kind of like your buffer zone of how many things you can screw up before she checks out, right? And you know what? The buffer zone is actually very large. Women don't. The reason why this is such a hot topic for most couples is because the cup of investment, or the buffer cup, if you will. Let's call it the buffer cup for the rest of the video. The buffer cup, okay? For women, the buffer cup is quite large. Like we're talking like 2 or 3 years of like buffer here of the guy like screwing up before she's like, okay, I gotta get out of here now, kind of thing, right? That's a lot of damn buffer that they give men, okay? And I don't think women get enough credit for how much buffer they actually do give men to fix the relationship. Now here's the problem. Here's where the disconnect actually happens, right? Is a woman's buffer, the buffer cup, when a guy does like a transgression, I guess you could call it, or like an error, let's call them errors. When they get the little errors, the errors are so subtle that, first of all, the guy doesn't know that he made the error, and the error is so small that the woman is kind of like, it subtracts from the buffer cup, but the woman doesn't actually, she won't like, here's the problem. Women won't like overtly communicate that like something bothered them. Like here's an example of an error. Like you have a family dinner with, this has happened to me all the time. Okay, you have a family dinner with the in-laws or something like that, right? And you can see that she's stressed out about being on time. And let's say you're not stressed out at all about being on time because you know their family's never on time. But for some reason, she has a higher standard for herself, so she wants to be on time. And you're 1 minute late. Like the reservation at the restaurant is like 8 p.m., 7 p.m., and it's like 7:01 p.m. So, to a man, arriving 1 minute late means you arrived on time. That's like, but that 1 minute lateness just got removed from that buffer cup, baby. And the woman, she will like feel that as like a transgression, even though logically she knows that 1 minute is like irrelevant. Like, you know you were on time, right? But she feels that shit. Like, she hates you for that shit. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, she gets a little -1 from that buffer cup, right? There's the problem. So when she brings up the problem of the 1 minute thing, she like, so some women will be like, hey, we were late to dinner today. This happened to me, dude. Like this, I'm speaking from literal personal experience, okay? So she'd be like, hey, we were late to dinner tonight. And I'd be like, we were the first ones there. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? Like, we were literally there before anybody else showed up. I'm not even capping how ridiculous, but just bear with me, okay? But still, she's like, we were late. Reservation was for 7, right? So anyway, what the woman is trying to do there is she is trying to bring up, she's letting you know, basically what she's doing is she's letting you know, it's like, hey buddy, you just got a -1 on your buffer cup. And you better make that up. You better refill the cup at a later date in a different way. There are ways you can refill the cup. But she's letting you know that there's a -1 on the cup now. Right? And then what the man does, or what I did back in the day, what the guy does is he's like, the notion of being 1 minute late is so inconceivably stupid to him, and also for the fact that they literally showed up first, right? It's so inconceivable to him that he doesn't think there was a -1 because of how ridiculous it was. But there was. She gets to decide what a -1 is, no matter how ridiculous it is, right? So he's like, he will argue with they'll have an argument or a debate or whatnot, and he will try to argue the +1 back into the cup because of how ridiculous the request is, right? So he's like, babe, we were 1 minute late and we were there first. It makes no sense to be upset about this. So the man will kind of brush it off as she's just being her crazy self, or she's just, he brushes it off as like, this is not a big, because, okay, so back to what I was saying earlier about the pressure that men have on their shoulders, and women don't appreciate this enough about guys, is the guy's literally worried about like World War III and how he's gonna build a bunker in his backyard for his family when shit hits the fan. Like, that's the kind of stuff that guys are kind of worried about, right? So when your woman is like, yeah, we were 1 minute late to dinner, you're like, bitch, I got bigger shit to worry about here. Like, can we not? Can we, like, do you know what I'm saying? But to her, she just took a -1 off your cup, baby. She just took that shit off. And then, so again, this is where the disconnect is between the genders on that front, right? So anyway, instead of what the guy is supposed, or what you're supposed to do, is next time, maybe you want to leave 10 minutes earlier, or you want to make sure that you hit the reservation time. You just do what you can. Or you could get a +1 back in the cup in a different way. Not like flowers or any of that shit, but you could you try to remember something that's important to her, and you have to do it or get it for her without her asking you to do it. So basically what she's looking for is she's looking to see you have to show that you care in a different way. So like her favorite chocolate is, I don't know, Purdy's Hedgehogs or something. And you get her like one Purdy Hedgehog after a date night or something. And you're like, babe, I'm sorry we were late. Next time we'll try better. Cup refilled kind of thing, right? But again, I fell prey to this too. 99% of guys are not gonna do that because they don't have the mental bandwidth for that shit. They really don't. Like when you're worried about making enough money and World War III and like how AI is gonna take your job and you have to like look 5 years into the future, the last thing you're worried about is -1 off of your buffer cup because of being 1 minute late to a reservation. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why it's, for me personally now, it's incredibly important to find girls who are chill. Girls who, not hippie chicks, but girls that aren't so type A where they have like a million schedules and they have to be on time. You just kind of go with the flow. Nothing bad ever happens. Just chill. If something bad does happen, you adapt after the fact, right? That kind of shit, right? Those are the girls I'm kind of after now. Cause it's like, for me, I do have bigger shit to worry about. I don't have time to worry about being 1 minute late. I just don't care. Like I have way bigger problems, right? But anyway, now here's how it all works, right? -1 buffer cup. -1, -1, -1, -1. You're 1 minute late 10 times in a row, but you still don't, you're like, we're on time, it's not a big deal. Now you do all these -1s from your buffer over the span of, again, usually takes about 2 or 3 years, right? She's giving you that much buffer of, and it seems so nonsensical. Well, we'll get into the signs of how you know after. We'll get the signs of how you know where you are in that buffer cup, right? So then 2 or 3 years goes by, all minuses, right? You're focusing on here's the other problem. Your only goal is to actually take care of her, right? Like that's what you're in a relation. Like I gotta take care of my girl. That's what I'm focused on. She doesn't see it that way. She just sees the -1s, right? So 2-3 years goes by, and now she's like, oh, okay, so he's never gonna change. You could be a good guy too, but she's like, she's never gonna change. She's not happy. She's gonna bounce. And the reason why, so during a breakup or during a divorce now, the stories of the breakup are always so drastically different. They're perceived drastically different. So that's why most relationships are ended by women, 86% or something like that, for this very concept, right? So the woman, she's like, this guy has been neglecting me for like 3 years. I put up with his shit for 3 years. He never showed that he cared for 3 years. All this kind of fucking nonsense, right? Like, and then the guy is like, what are you talking about? The guy is like, every action that I took, every macro and micro action that I took was in service to you. Do you know what I'm saying? And then that's why he's always blindsided by the breakup. He's like, do you know what I'm saying? Because the guy is always blindsided. He never, because the minus ones are so subtle and they're always so ridiculous, he never sees it coming, right? He's always like, and then, so when they're in their like divorce proceedings, he's like, nothing that you're saying is making any sense at all. And then she's like, exactly, because you never listened to me. We were 1 minute late 10 times and you didn't listen to me. And you're like, you know what the weirdest feeling is when that kind of shit happens? Your like concept of reality gets challenged to a certain degree, because you're like, you're in the moment, you're actually so blown away that this dumb woman literally couldn't see all the things that you were doing for her. You're like, how can you be so fucking blind, right? And yet she feels the exact same way. She's like, how can this guy be so blind? Now, so that's like kind of the overarching problem between the genders, right? Women focus on micro things, whereas men are we're forced to focus on macro things. Women live in this like flower reality where they just the main problem, if you go onto a societal level, is not to put the blame on women, but like, I would put the blame more on education, where like, women aren't really taught that like, things aren't gonna just work out because they work out. But they live ever since they hit puberty, they live in this like flower garden reality, unless they're extremely unattractive. Those girls are kind of have to hustle themselves. But they live in this like flower reality where no matter how many mistakes they make, they get taken care of. No matter how, like World War III will happen, like the Titanic, man. Like the Titanic is sinking. All the guys are like staying on the boat to die. The women get saved, right? For no reason. They didn't, so when the Titanic sank, perfect analogy, they didn't categorize the survivors based on skill sets. Like you could have had a male neurosurgeon and a waitress. The male neurosurgeon is objectively a better save for society, but he still gets to stay on the boat and the waitress gets saved, right? Like men are kind of disposable. So like, it doesn't really matter what status the woman is. She kind of just always, have you ever said, I'm sure you have chick friends that are like that. Like some of these female, like, man, I got this one female friend who's like a hippie. I've known her for like 15 years now. Gorgeous girl too. Keep in mind, she's gorgeous, okay? Only now is she starting to like decline in her looks. I think she's hitting mid-30s now. And that girl, all she does is complain on Facebook and travel. That's it. She just complains about like, I don't know. And like, where's the money coming from? How does she travel? How does she pay her rent? She'll make a post on Facebook. It's like, hey, I'm coming back to Vancouver for a month. Can anyone house me? And then there's like 30 dudes in the replies saying like, yeah, you can stay at my place for free. And it's just like, so she lives I think she'll get punished later on when people stop. Like when she hits 40 or 45, that might go away, right? Then she's in trouble, right? But for now, she's lived her entire existence just like everything is gonna be okay. So when I think this kind of culture does real damage to women, and to men. To be fair, it's men's fault that they do this dumb shit, right? But anyway, women live in this like reality where like it's such a, if you want to go there, it's such a privileged reality that they actually have time to worry about being 1 minute late. If you think about it, it's like this arrogance. Cause it's okay, so it's on the same, not to like shit on depressed people or whatever, but it's kind of the same thing as like depression. What is depression, right? Depression is you have enough time in your day to be depressed. If you go back 100 years or 200 years, when everyone was working the fields and milking the cows and whatnot, there may have been depressed people, but there was no time to worry about it. Your Maslow's hierarchy of needs was survival first, right? So depression is like you have food and you have shelter and you make just enough money to be bored. And now it's like the next hierarchy of need is like, what's your purpose in life? What do you want to do? How do you, that kind of shit. You're not being fulfilled by your work. That's where depression all fucking comes from, right? So depression in itself, I'm talking about the usual kind, not the chemical imbalance kind. I'm sure there are actual real cases out there. I'm talking about like the dumb shit. You know what I'm talking about. But that shit is, I have enough time to worry about this. That's what that means. So when a woman, think about the position of privilege you would have to be in order to worry about being 1 minute late. Think about that. It's like she has a husband, she has a beautiful home, she wants for nothing. Everything in life is taken care of. It's almost like a form of depression, actually, to be honest. So all the Maslow's hierarchy of needs of what she wants is taken care of. And now she has, it's kind of like the HOA Karen, right? Why is there an HOA Karen worrying about a potted plant in your front yard? It's the exact same mechanism, right? They're so privileged to worry about things that they don't have to worry about World War III because they know there's like this safety net of society and there's like a safety net of men that no matter what happens, they're getting off that Titanic before you. So they actually get to worry about the color of the boat that they're gonna fall on. Do you know what I'm saying? The privilege is totally out of control in this one, right? And but not to invalidate their feelings, but that's literally why when men and women get together and then they split up after 3 or 4 years or whatever, it seems so jarring to both sexes. Because the woman cannot conceptualize a reality where if you don't perform, you will be homeless and nobody will love you. That's the man's reality. Therefore, the man is focused on World War III and AI and providing. Whereas the man cannot conceptualize of a reality where the woman just has all the time in the world to worry about being 1 minute late. Because what else is she gonna worry about? She's got it all. She's good. What's she gonna worry about? So you better not be 1 minute late, right? It's nuts. It's nuts, right? Anyway, so we got 5 minutes left. Okay, so let me tell you how you can tell. So the buffer cup, right? When the buffer cup is full at like the 6-month mark of the relationship, you sex every day, genuine desire. She's sucking your dick like crazy. She loves you, love bombing, all that shit, right? It's like, this is like the honeymoon phase, if you will, right? Buffer cup is full. Skipping right to the end. This is the number one, this is like the, how you know there's no going back. Like, this is it, that's it, it's over. When the thought of having sex with you disgusts her. That's it. How that can manifest is a bit different in different ways. You kind of have to pay attention to her body language and her social cues. So like lots of excuses. She has headaches. She shit talks you to other people in front of, like, you go out with your friends and she starts like trolling you and debasting you in front of your friends. She almost hates you. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, she just hates you. She doesn't want to have sex with you. She doesn't want you to touch her. When you try to hug her or kiss her or whatever, she like cowers like this. Like, that's when you know it's over. It's over. There's no saving that. Then, what she will do, and you gotta watch out for this, she will say, let's go for couples counseling. That's when you know it's over. It's done. The reason why is because the buffer cup is empty. She's already checked out. She just needs a third party to validate her exit, to alleviate her guilt. That's all that is. So the counselor, the marriage counselor, is her guilt alleviation mechanism. And so if you go, her reasons for leaving will be validated. If you don't go, then she'll just blame you for not going. Either way, she's out of there. So don't worry about that shit though. So if the thought of her having sex with you disgusts her, or she doesn't want to be affectionate towards you, she just hates you. You just like, open your eyes, man, look for this shit. But like, and guys will still somehow not see this shit. They'll delude themselves. Look for this shit. What you do, if you're a smart dude, I have a lot of IRL buddies that are in this situation right now, and I cannot convince them that this is happening. It's fucking crazy. I'm like, bro, your wife just shit on you in front of all your friends, and you just took that shit. She hates you, brother. She hates you. But they don't want to listen to that shit. So for those of you watching this video, listen to this shit, okay? What you do, you get your assets in order. Just take the emotion out of it. There's no harm in getting your assets in order anyway. Get your assets in order. Like, protect yourself when a divorce does come, I'm saying. Go to the gym now. Start going to the gym now. Start working on your social skills now. So that when she does want to leave, you can hit the ground running and not mope for 6 months. Don't waste your time over a girl that hates you, okay? Don't worry about a woman that changed her mind 5 years later. Hit the ground running. Start talking to so what you want to do is you want to use the advantage of being married to plant the seed in other women for when you get divorced. because women are attracted to men that are married. Therefore, you don't cheat. I'm not saying cheat. I'm saying be very flirty and just make sure you got that ring on. Okay? So you're working, you're taking care of your assets, you're getting fit, you're working on your social skills, you're using the marriage to hit the ground running when she does bounce. Do not try to save it. You can't by this point. It's over. It's too late. When a woman hates you and resents you, that's it. Just don't worry about it. Just get that. Just prepare for the exit. Let her do it, but you're prepared for the exit. You're prepared for that shit. Damn, that took a while to explain. This is, guys, this is such critical advice. And the thing is, if you watch a video like this, I hope to God I hope to God I can save, you can't save the relationship, but I hope that I can, instead of crash landing the plane, you land the plane on the wheels and you keep rolling and then you just fly off again. You never kind of stop. There's no stopping, there's no crash landing, there's no moping for 6 months. You hit that runway running, brother. Anyway, that's how you know the relationship is over. If she kind of starts, maybe we'll save it for another video on, maybe we will save it for another video, how like, if the cup is half full, how do you save it and all that shit. But that's how you know the cup is empty. The cup is in negative equity now. No matter how much you fill it with chores, taking out the trash, buying her flowers and chocolates, it's a black hole now that you can't fill it back up. It's too late. Anyway, guys, if you like this content, if you thought this was valuable, leave a comment down below if you've experienced the things that I talked about in this video, because I'm sure guys can relate to this shit. Scroll down, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.